Hi, everybody. All right, we are going to talk about two things today. Let me go to the schedule. Here we go. Let's make that bigger. All right, so we've done a lot already this semester. So two things. Number one, remember I changed the literature review due date to April 6th instead of April 2nd, so you'll have a little more time to do that. And I want to talk about the literature review today. And then I also want to talk about, you'll notice that the last day of regular classes, your CITI training is due. So I want to talk about what that is as well. So let's just do the CITI training quickly. So you've got the Dropbox. This is going to be part of the ethics information we talked about, but what you need to do is basically go to the CITI training website. And so CITI stands for the Collaborative Institutional Training Initiative, and anybody at App State who does any kind of research has to take this training. And because we are assuming that we're really doing the research that you all are doing and working on and writing about, we need to do that too. And it'll also give you great information and more information about things like the Belmont report and things that we talked about in the ethics section. So you're going to take the social behavioral refresher course, social behavioral research course refresher. It takes about 2 hours to complete. This is something that everybody has to do every 3 years. So I think I updated mine last year, but it's something that we all have to do if we're doing any kind of research. And we want you to do this as well. This is a department-wide initiative to get every undergrad having completed that. Now, if you have completed it already, like if you're doing research with somebody on campus or something like that, and you have completed it, what I need to do from everybody is you just upload your certificate of completion in this box. So if you haven't done it, you need to do it and get that certificate and put it in my Dropbox here. If you have already done it, just take your certificate and put it in the Dropbox. Either way is good. So that is due on April 28th before midnight. All right, let's talk a little bit about let's talk a little bit about our literature review. So I've got that Dropbox up. Again, it's going to be due before midnight now on Tuesday, April 6th. So let's look at it. You've got, before I do that, right, you've got the rubric for the paper here, or at least a version of it, right, how I'm going to be grading it. But then let me actually show you the one that I'm going to use when I grade, which is, it's the same thing, but we'll just act like we're grading here. So here's that rubric. So, right, you've got to have an opening paragraph that clearly states the purpose theme of the paper is well written, right? So it should be 3 to 4 sentences long, gives the purpose of the study so that, you know, just says right out, the purpose of the study is blah, blah, blah. And that's worth 10 points. The literature review includes a strong discussion of the disorder itself and how it impacts people, right? That's going to be maybe the rest of page 1 or so, right? And that's going to be range from 0 to 10 points. The most important section, at least in terms of your grade and other things, will be you've got a strong discussion of the treatment you're going to study. This includes a description of the therapy and a review of the research about the effectiveness of treatments, including levels of evidence that exist for the treatment, right? So you're going to have a description of the therapy. So maybe, you know, a little paragraph about what therapy A is, And then you're going to say, here's the research that shows that it's effective, right? Maybe there's a lot of research, maybe there's only a few papers on it, right? But give us an overview. It can also be really helpful. You don't have to do this, but it can be helpful to say, hey, here's, give us a paragraph on one paper. So there was one study, here it was, here's how many people were in it, here's what it looked at, and it showed that therapy A was effective. And then you're going to do the same thing for therapy B, right? So here's what therapy B is, here's how you do it, and then here's all the research that exists that shows that it's effective, right? So that's going to be there. Go down here. All right, you'll also have maybe a little bit, and then after you do that, right, you'll have a little bit about, right, what the gaps or conflicts are. So, right, does, therapy A have, level 1, 2, 3, 4 research done that shows it's great? Does therapy B have level 1, 2, 3, and 4 research done that shows it's great? Does it not? Are there, things missing, gaps going on, right? But, so if it does or doesn't, you need to say that. But then also, right, if, even if they've been shown to be effective really well at all levels, which, it would be unusual for, your therapy A and therapy B to have a ton of research backing behind them. But even if they do, right, I'm sure no one has compared the two. So, you can still say that, hey, even though there's all these levels of evidence, no one has compared the two, which is what my great study will do. That's going to lead into your rationale for the study. And you're going to give a discussion of evidence-based practice. Remember, we talked about this in class on Monday, right, that your study is going to add to evidence-based practice. So you give a definition of evidence-based practice. Here's what evidence-based practice is. Maybe here's why it's important. And here's how my incredibly important study will contribute to evidence-based practice, right? And the good thing about that, right, is use the ASHA website about evidence-based practice, and then, right, that's one of your 10 sources is that is the evidence-based practice page on ASHA. All right, the closing paragraph, you get a purpose and at least one research question. And then it also, so that's worth 10 points. And then another 10 points will be the clear statement of the hypothesis at the end. So like we talked about in class, just go ahead and say that straight out. The hypothesis is that, blank, blank, blank. You're going to have, well, this should say at least 10 references, actually. I think that's what you've got. So it should be 10 references, and I wanted 6 of them to be journal articles. I need to change that in my grading. I think on your rubric page that you have, yeah, you've got 10 and 6, which is what it's supposed to be. So I will change that when I actually grade it. And then APA grammar, a few errors, or 0 or 1 is fine. Maybe even 2 will get you 10 points. But if you've got starting to have a lot of errors, right, you're going to start to lose points when you do that. So again, you've got that information here. I just wanted to talk about it, do a quick little video about it. So now you have it. Let me know, shoot me an email if you have questions, or ask me questions in class on Monday. Have a great day, and I will see you soon.